And away we go. Good damn Monday, everybody. Welcome. Where am I? That's not me. What the hell is that? How about we try this one? Aha. There it is. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the show. Is this thing on? What's going on here? Anyway, had a nice, Lady Boomer's back. I'm glad she's back because I kind of missed her over her few days gone in Las Vegas. Viva Las Vegas. But I stayed home and did some cleaning and got some things done. And I'm here on time for a change. That's amazing. So that's a start. I hope you all are having a wonderful morning. I hope you had a good weekend. But we got to talk about that guy a little bit because that was the biggest news, it seemed, anywhere. I don't think there's a single media outlet that ignored Alex Jones, mostly because most of them hate him. But, you know, some people like him. I'm indifferent, although I got to tell you, I got to be honest. He's been very Nostradamus-like on many things. And all those conspiracy theories, you know, they always say he's a conspiracy theorist. Well, a lot of them came to fruition. But he made one huge mistake and that's why he's been ostracized from society, because the left already hated him. Nobody cared. But when the right kind of joined in a little bit because of that little thing, not that little thing, it was a big thing. It's costing over, in theory, over $1 billion. Although I should think that should have been appealed. But let's just say the fact that he is back, no matter what you think of him, should be a good thing. And we'll get into some of the reaction and then a ton of other news. I don't know if I'll get to all of it, but if I don't, it'll be in the links at the end of the show. So, that being said, shall we begin on this Metal Monday on the Morning Night Live? Johnny, what do you think? Johnny, pay attention. You're supposed to be listening over there. All right, let's get it on. Ladies and gentlemen, Johnny's about to play the intro right now. Go, Johnny.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only Dawg Knight.
And the mouse isn't working again. What the hell is going on here? Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as Dawg Knight on the internet. And welcome back to the Dawg Knight Channel, where apparently I am pathetic. I was told was the word pathetic. I should probably go look exactly the words this woman used because, so as you may know, I have an Instagram account with the name Dawg Knight on it, which is one of my 3 Instagram accounts. One's Marty's Big Journey, one is Marty Got Jokes, and one is Dawg Knight. And I was commenting on a post about Israel over the weekend, just whatever. And this woman from Australia, I gotta share this. I wasn't gonna share this. I didn't even think of this until just now to share it, but I gotta share it. Where this woman, gave me crap about how many people follow me on Instagram, which I've only started the Instagram account. I started the Instagram account about 6 months ago, but I really don't use it much. And so she gave me a little bit of crap for things that had nothing to do with what we were talking about in the post. So I'm going to show it to you if I can find it. Why can't I find it, though? It should be here. It hasn't been deleted. Oh, here it is. Here it is. So this Wait, that's not what the hell? That's not even what I'm talking about. That's not even what the hell. Okay, Instagram's a pain in the ass online, and maybe that's the problem. Oh, here it is. So, let me get it on the screen. Here it is. Ah, there it is. I knew it was here somewhere. So, this woman's talking about how if you didn't complain about, if you thought the targeting of a hospital in Ukraine was a war crime, but you don't speak up on the hospitals being attacked in Gaza, you're a hypocrite. Okay. And now that was just the post. And what I said was, first of all, I can't imagine anyone who has one of those little Ukraine flags in their bios, and not a whole lot of them, at least some. Well, it's probably half and half. But the people who have the Ukraine flags in their bios probably also ones supporting the Palestinians, right? Maybe not. Maybe it's probably half and half. I suppose there's a bit of half and half, but that doesn't even matter. The point I made was that Ukraine didn't commit an act of war on the Russians, first of all, because someone was saying that, and so Hamas did. Ukraine does not base their operations under hospitals. Hamas does. I do not give a damn about Ukraine, but I feel bad for the people caught up in the war. I also feel bad for the people of Gaza, who Hamas has put in harm's way. And I look forward to the day when they are free of Hamas. Okay. And this young lady from Australia. Now, this is not the woman in the video. The woman in the video is the original video, which I, was criticizing. And as I read these replies, one of these replies is where'd it go? Gosh dang it, my mouse isn't working. That doesn't help me at all either. Now, one said Ukraine did start the war. They are murdering ethnic Russians. You haven't figured that out because you were slow. I'll help you out. America backs up savages. And she deleted it. That's probably why. She either deleted it or she blocked me because it's not in here. Oh, no, she's still there. Well, what the hell? What happened to her? What happened to it? So she wrote something about, about she doesn't need to listen to me because I'm a white dude. And I was like, and we don't need any more white dudes starting blogs. And that my post was pathetic because some guy making comments on something with only less than 200 followers probably isn't, what I got here? I'm in the middle of the show.
So
what are you doing? Let me see this.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. Oh, what? Where was it? Okay, hang on. I got something. Thank you, Lady Boomer. Brought me a cup from Viva Las Vegas. I'm doing an unboxing right now. Live unboxing. Okay, this is huge cup.
I know it's huge.
Let's see here.
You're big man. Like you had to have.
Oh, look at that.
You had to have
Viva
one.
Las Vegas, baby. All right. That's awesome. Thanks, honey.
You had to have one. I love you.
Yeah, I love you too. Thank you. Mwah.
Have a good day.
That's
I'm
awesome.
late.
Sweet.
In
fact- Huh?
I'm late for.
Oh, yeah, I know that. Okay. All right, cool. All right, well, there we go. That was a live thing that happened. Okay, so apparently she deleted that one because I replied to her. I'm like, is that the best you got? I started an account 6 months ago that I barely used until recently, and someone with less than, she has less than 200 followers herself. That was the other funny thing about it. And I said, less than 200 followers herself tries to attack me personally rather than make a coherent argument. Are you laughing at me or projecting your own insecurity? And then she said something about me being this white dude. And she must have deleted all of it. She did delete all of it. She must have blocked me because she's an idiot. So anyway, let's see. Let me see if That could be. I might be blocked by her. This page isn't available. The link you followed may be broken or the page may have been removed. Go back to Instagram. Well, maybe she closed her account because I embarrassed her. All right, well, we don't have to talk about that anymore. So let's go back to what I was going to do and say hi to everybody. Anyway, I'm going to move my beverage into my new cup. There we go. There we go. Big Viva Las Vegas, baby. That's awesome. All right. Real quick before I even say hi to everybody, good morning, Kara Soldier. Thank you for joining for dropping a super chat. Who says, have you seen the new music video from the Babylon Bee? They parody Mary Did You Know, Biden Did You Know? No, I have not seen that. I got to check that out. I got to check it out. I'll have to look that one up. Thank you very much for the super chat. Appreciate you. You are the first sponsor today. Thank you. And if you'd like to sponsor the show, there's several ways to do it. Super chats, Rumble Rants, but the best way is through Streamlabs. If you don't mind using Streamlabs, credit card option or PayPal option. And plus, you don't have to limit what you say. You get the whole 255 characters no matter how much you donate. Plus, you can be the new Streamlabs Superstar Sponsor of the Day. Anyway, thank you, Kara Soldier. I appreciate it. Let's say hi to everybody. First in chat over on Rumble, Mr. Jimmy Das Hotep got the bell today. Way to go. Also, good morning to our friend Avocados Diabli, Mike Savage, Larg for Mike Savage, and that's it. That's everyone on Rumble. Is that it? Really? Everyone on Rumble? There's only 8 watching, and it may be just that you all are part of that 8. So anyway, on YouTube, first in chat is Tyler F. gets the bell. Way to go, Tyler F. Also, good morning, Jimmy Das Hotep, Avocados Diabli, JB, Mike Savage, Blarg, Tyre, Alexander, the Gentleman, Lich. Also, good morning to my favorite Canadian, Jaeger Pony. And let's see, I'm going to scroll down now. Kara Soldier, obviously the first sponsor of the show today. Thank you very much. GunFox61, the awesome administrator of the Dawg Knight Discord server. Also, good morning to Sarah. I saw you retweet the show. Thank you, Sarah. Nice to see you. Oh, and Lady Boomer, probably, I should have said hi to you from Lady Boomer, but she's already gone. Also, let's see here. I've got Rod Lines in the house. Welcome. Viva Las Vegas. Reaction Puerto Rico. It did not go R-rated. Just a kiss from my honey. And it felt good. Because I haven't seen her because she got home at 10 o'clock last night. I was already sleeping because I had to be up at 2 in the morning. So I'm glad to see her. Also, good morning, Simon Wolfwood, Trippy Liberty, and GDSOB, and anyone else who happens to be strolling in at this time, not used to be starting on the time, probably is a challenge, because when I don't start on time, it feels right. It feels normal. So, all right, let's get into trending topics real quick, because I need to get to the main topic at least, and then I've got how many, is there any way to tell how many tabs you have open? Is there a tab count? It looks like about 52. I think I have 52 tabs open because there's so much stuff to get caught up on over the weekend. And if I don't get to it all, I'm going to put all the links in the chat at the end of the show on a single link, one tab link, and then I also drop it in the description. So if you want to know what I didn't get to today, you can do that. Or if you want to go back and see what I did get to, the rest of the story on some of these things, you can do that too. But let's get into what's happening, what people are talking about. And these are not in order because if they were, wait a minute, what happened here? Okay, if they're in order, we all know which one will be first. Probably that guy. But anyway, things that are trending. There are 3 women trending this morning. Okay, 3 women that were trending. One was Carol Burnett. Another was Terry Garr. And another was Rita Moreno. Now, I was beginning to wonder what decade we were in when I saw these 3 women trending. Carol Burnett, the amazing comedian. You know what? You know when you say women aren't funny? Okay, that's not true. There are the rare rare superstar comedian people that are funny. And one of them was Carol Burnett. A part of it is because she had just had a great cast on her show. That show was so funny when I was a kid, even when I was a kid, and I didn't even understand all the humor. And yet, it was a great show. Carol Burnett, I don't know why she's trending. I have no idea. Okay. Because it's not her birthday. She's not dead. She's in her 90s. I know that. But is she still alive? Well, here, let's find out. Is Carol Burnett still alive? And that's kind of a morbid question to ask your computer. But Carol Burnett, yeah, she was born April 26, 1933. So she's 90 years old. So she's and no death date, so she's still alive. Okay, that's good to know. Anyway, one of the great comedians of all time, and her show was fantastic. So, but it doesn't say why she's trending. They're just got her trending for some reason, and it's not her birthday. But anyway, and then also Terry Garr. Now Terry Garr was an actress that if you watch movies in the I would say late 70s, early 80s, or in 80s, she was an actress that was very prominent at the time. And it is her birthday. Terry Garr was in Young Frankenstein. She was in what else she was in? She's in a lot of movies. She was in Wait a minute. I gotta show you this though. This is one of those things that people do, saying happy birthday to Terry Garr. Okay, that's not Terry Garr. That's Dustin Hoffman as Tootsie. But here's Terry Garr. You would recognize Terry Garr. I'm trying to think. Mr. Mom. Yeah, she was in Mr. Mom. She was in a lot of movies. Oh, you don't know who Terry Garr is, Sarah? You know, now you see her face. I bet you know who she is. But you just didn't know her name. Wasn't she also in... she was in an episode of Star Trek? I didn't know that. Also, she was in MASH, the movie. She was in a lot of movies. Anyway, in fact, here we go. Oh, so anyway, that's Terry Garr, and then also Rita Moreno. Now Rita Moreno, I often what? Oh, that was in the movie. I just saw that. And then also Rita Moreno. Now I'm always singing songs from West Side Story because that's the only musical that I actually know songs from, because I was in it. Well, I know songs from other musicals, but that one are the ones I remember because, I did that show when I was like 15 years old. And so I know most of the songs from it. And so I use those songs a lot. And Rita Moreno played Anita in West Side Story, the other gang leader's girlfriend. And so she was really good in that too. But that's what she played. She was she's 92 years old today. She was mostly a choreographer, and she's done many movies. She's just one of those actresses, from back in the day that people my age have heard of. So they're all trending today, and I really wasn't sure why, other than birthdays, but that's okay. Cheers to them. Real quick, thank you, Gunfox61, first sponsor over on Streamlabs, and that makes you are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Thank you, Gunfox61, putting a big bullet in the tip jar. Here is a funny fake news. Oh, a Babylon Bee link. Well, we'll have to open that one. Let's see what that is. Oh, yes. I think I may have even seen this one. God, no, I haven't seen this one. That's from this morning or yesterday. I haven't seen this one. This is hilarious. I will share this right now. In fact, let's move this over to the. Well, I don't even need to move it to the news section. I'm going to leave it right there. Here's what Gunfox just sent me. By the way, if you weren't sure, so remember the three college presidents, one from the University of Pennsylvania, one from MIT, and one from Harvard, were in a hearing with Elena Stefaniak, and that was the big news last week that, they were talking about, well, if she was asking them if anti-Semitic, if the call for the genocide of Jews were being chanted on your campus, would that be cause for disciplinary action? And they all said, well, it kind of depends on the context. And I'm not sure if there's a context for that. Well, one of them has resigned, Liz McGill from the University of Pennsylvania. She has resigned. That's breaking news over the weekend, right? And but now apparently the Babylon Bee has an exclusive. Apparently the ousted University of Pennsylvania President Liz McGill has landed a new gig at Hamas Institute of Technology. So there you go. Gaza, a day after being forced out of the University of Pennsylvania, Liz McGill has been announced as the new president of the Hamas Institute of Technology. Experience leading premier universities and comfort with Jewish genocide is a rare combination, and Ms. McGill has it in spades, said Haitham Hawajiri, a university board member. We are proud to welcome Ms. McGill as the president, who will leave HIT from the river to the sea. Okay, that's terrible. There's much more, but it's full of funnies in it, but I'm going to dispense with that now. Thank you, GunFox61. It'll be in the links, though, if you want to read it, share it, whatever you want to do with it. All right, thank you, GunFox. Also, real quick, good morning to Somnambule Nation, Patio Furniture, GDSOB. Did I catch you at the end of the hellos? I think I did. So we're doing okay. I'm caught up, right? I'm caught up. If you're on Rumble, by the way, there's a bunch of people watching Rumble, and I have no idea who you are. There's 12 watching. I've only accounted for 4. So if you're watching on Rumble, just put a hi in the chat so I know that you're over there, and I'll say hi to you too. And thank you for watching. All right, let's get into more stuff that's trending though, because I got so much to do. Now, I'm going to come back to this one. Obviously, Alex Jones is trending, and he's trending very high over all weekend, mainly because Elon Musk has reinstated Alex Jones on Twitter. And so I'm going to go through some of this later in the show because that's kind of the main topic today. So I'm just going to move that one to over here, and then I'm going to move on to the next thing because we'll get back to Alex Jones. It's a whole lot of things going on. Also, but because Alex Jones is trending, and because he's being reinstated on Twitter, the app formerly known as Twitter, aka X, which also creates a fact that Elon Musk is trending because people are bitching at Elon Musk. So again, we'll talk about these guys a little more after I get to some of the other ones, because there's some other ones that I want to talk about. Also, Sandy Hook is trending, and of course, that is because Alex Jones is trending and Elon Musk is trending, and everyone's bitching about Alex Jones because of his case with Sandy Hook. So everyone wants to mention Sandy Hook too. So it's trending. I'll put that trending tab on the links too, but I'm not going to talk about it. Oh, except it does provide one of the daily Krasensteins. Okay. Which is interesting because he's Brian Krasenstein, the uglier brother of his twin brother. What's the other one's name? Ed Krasenstein. He's saying that he's not against Alex Jones being restated, which is interesting. And the reason why I'm not against Alex Jones being reinstated is because even when Jones tried to downplay his involvement in Sandy Hook after Elon asked him a pretty heated question, I can fact check it all. And so he's, so what did Alex Jones really say about Henning Jug? And he put some fact check, whatever stuff down here about that. And some are saying, I think Alex Jones should not be unsuspended because it's about free speech. X is a free speech platform. And even if you don't like what he's saying, he has the right to say it. We must protect free speech at all costs. To which Brian answers, I'm not against this either. I'd rather be able to push back on what he says than have him saying things in an echo chamber that becomes more and more extreme as it feeds off itself. Hey, you know what? Let's just give Brian credit where credit's due there. I mean, he and his brother are propagandist fools, but they also have some interesting principles that I agree with. So I guess, even though they, other than embezzlement and swindling people. But anyway, so that's why Sandy Hook's trending, because Alex Jones is trending. All right, moving on. Fauci, Dr. Anthony Fauci is trending. Sorry, I missed the button there. And there's all kinds of reasons why he's constantly trending. Now, if you are on my YouTube, well, obviously, if you're watching on YouTube or you follow me on YouTube, you will notice that I put up a little, who was it? It was a Nobel Prize winning biochemist who was talking about Anthony Fauci in 1996. And he kind of warned us about Anthony Fauci as being kind of this know-nothing bureaucrat, and the people who fund science really don't know shit about science, and he warned us about Fauci a long time ago, and then he passed away in 1999. But still, if you have a chance, go look at my YouTube shorts for that. Anyway, apparently Rand Paul was talking about Fauci this weekend on Fox News, and here's what Rand Paul had to say, or not at Fox News, is Fox News or Fox Business? Well, whichever one. Here it is.
Well, for probably more deaths than any other individual in the medical world.
Well, I mean, there was so much censorship of so much information that was vital for Americans to see and
Okay, they were
understand
talking about censorship.
about COVID and about the vaccines, but they censored it. Can we even trust health officials in this government?
Well, it was directed explicitly by him. We go over this in the book because he commissioned scientists who were saying in private that they thought it was a manipulated virus, manipulated in a lab, and came from a lab. He convinced them.
Oh, did Fauci lie?
He commissioned
Did
and
Fauci
edited
lie?
a paper that said that absolutely this did not come from a lab. While privately, all of these same scientists were saying in all likelihood it did come from a lab. So there really was an orchestrated cover-up on this. We also now know that he was visiting the CIA in early 2020. We know that the CIA scientists, 7 of them, voted 6-1 to say it came from the lab, and then they were reversed by superiors. We need to know whether Anthony Fauci influenced the superiors or perhaps the opposite. Did the CIA influence
So it sounds
Anthony
like...
Fauci? But we also need to know how often he was visiting and what he was there for. Our understanding is that he wasn't recorded on visitor logs, but he was appearing frequently at the CIA. You have to realize that he was not a scientist in charge of a cure for cancer. He was also in charge of a lot of bioweapons money and in charge of a lot of things that had dual use. And they won't reveal any of this to us. They had weekly meetings on dangerous dual-use research concerns and gain of function, and not one item of any of those meetings has been released to us, despite us asking for it for over 3 years.
All right, so it sounds like they're learning more and more about Dr. Fauci, who's no longer employed by the government. But does it sound like to me, or does it sound to you like perhaps it might be time to bring Dr. Fauci in for questioning? I'm just curious. Now, in fact, this is an important interview by Rand Paul where he documents what he calls this is Charlie Kirk, an orchestrated Wuhan lab leak cover-up, and how Anthony Fauci and the CIA are obstructing Congress from investigating years of dual-use bioweapon funding. So the entire interview, I'll put in a separate link. It looks like there's a 5 minutes, and I'm not going to play 5-minute interview, but I will add that link to the list of links today. There we go. So there'll be a separate link with the entire 5-minute interview. All right, moving on. Now, this is one that fascinated me. If you're familiar with Fareed Zakaria, the CNN, he's kind of an international correspondent, and he has his own show where he talks about stuff. And this is another one that I went, holy crap, what is going on here? First, you got John Fetterman, supporting Israel and talking about our issues at the border. Now we got Fareed Zakaria talking about universities, about universities and how they're basically, okay, I'm going to paraphrase, they're screwing up the world. Because they're so busy being ideological and not letting people learn shit. All right. Now, as my friend Randy Monkey says, this is about 6 years too late. But I have a lot of time today. I am going to play a large part of this, and then you can watch the rest later. But listen to Fareed Zakaria. Remember, this is Fareed Zakaria. This is not, Tucker Carlson. This is not. Glenn Beck. This is not Ben Shapiro. This is Fareed Zakaria. Now listen to what he says, and we'll play about half of it. Here we go.
Here's my take. When one thinks of America's greatest strengths, the kind of assets the world looks at with admiration and envy, America's elite universities would long have been at the top of that list.
Would have.
But the
Wait, whoa. Did he say would have? Foreshadowing. There's my voice. That's why I had the gain down too far.
Has been losing faith in these universities.
Hello, Selecta Boy. Yeah, boy.
reason. 3 university presidents came under fire this week for their vague and indecisive answers when asked whether calling for the genocide of Jews would violate their institution's codes of conduct. But to understand their performance, we have to understand the broad shift
Now,
that has taken place at elite
Wait
universities,
to hear this.
which have gone from being centers of excellence to institutions pushing political agendas.
Who is this guy? Who is this guy? Who is this guy? Are you saying Fareed Zakaria has a punchable face? Oh, don't say that. He's got this. He don't now when he's saying something right. All right, listen more.
People sense the transformation. As Paul Tuff has pointed out, the share of young adults who said a college degree was very important fell from 74% in 2013 to just 41% in
Damn.
2019.
And remember, that's from, notice the dates he gave you there. He gave you from 2013 to 2019. That's before COVID. That's before all this other crazy shit that's been going on. That's amazing.
2018, 61% of those polls said higher education was headed in the wrong direction. And only 38% felt it was
It's
on the
funny
right track.
because we've known that for a long
2016,
time.
70% of America's high school graduates were headed for college. Now that number is 62%.
It's dropping, and
This
mostly
souring
it's
on higher
especially
education
males.
makes America an outlier among all advanced nations. American universities have been neglecting a core focus on excellence in order to pursue a variety of agendas, many of them clustered around diversity and inclusion. It started with the best of intentions.
Hello, Purity Bear.
Colleges wanted to
Or
make sure
Parody
young
Bear.
people of all backgrounds had access to higher education and felt comfortable on campus. But those good intentions have morphed into a dogmatic ideology and turned these universities into places where the pervasive goals are political and social engineering, and not academic merit.
Damn.
As the evidence produced for the recent Supreme Court case on affirmative action showed, universities have systematically downplayed merit-based criteria for admissions in favor of racial quotas.
Wait till this next part,
Some
though.
universities' response to this ruling seems to be that they will go further down this path, eliminating the requirement for any standardized tests like the SAT. That move would allow them to then take students with little reference to objective criteria.
And
Of course, those who would suffer most
And?
would be bright students from poor backgrounds who normally use tests like the SAT to demonstrate their qualifications.
right. And instead,
In the humanities, hiring for new academic positions now appears to center on the race and gender of the applicant,
Hi, Reese Donald.
as well as the subject matter, which needs to be about marginalized groups. A white man studying the American presidency does not have a prayer of getting tenure at a major history department in America today.
damn.
Great inflation in the humanities.
Now, I haven't even looked yet. I have not even looked yet. But I am going to guess that Fareed Zakaria is getting, or is going to be getting, completely savaged for this commentary by the DEI crowd. They are going to rip him to shreds, and they're going to accuse him of acting white and being a banana and all, or not whatever they call coconut, or whatever they call whatever his race is. They're going to say he's shilling for the white man. I guarantee it. I'm going to find one. We'll find one before we leave.
Is rampant. At Yale,
SATs test if you can regurgitate information, it doesn't show competence or intelligence. It does. Yeah, no, Sarah, you're right. College isn't for everyone. It was a huge mistake to tell entire generations they had to go or be a failure. That is 100% correct. And you're somewhat correct on the SAT score, as far as regurgitating information. But it also, but there's a direct correlation to your success on the SAT test and your success in college. Now, is that because in college, you're only going there to regurgitate stuff too? Maybe, maybe not. Recall is very important in many jobs. But you're right. It shouldn't be a requirement to live in society. There's so many things, so many people can self-educate now. And they have to completely restructure their model for college because it doesn't even make sense anymore. I know, like I said last week, my son, who's a computer engineer, computer science, software engineer, and he's very successful already as a young man. But he's saying that there are some people that he works with that didn't even go to school. They taught themselves to code, or they majored in something completely different and having nothing to do with computer engineering, and then they taught themselves how to code. Okay, so and the idea that you need a college degree to do certain things, I think a lot of companies are learning that you don't need to do it. A lot of the jobs that my wife used to apply for, it requires a 4-year degree, and she has a 2-year nursing degree. And yet she ended up getting the job and being very successful in those jobs with just a 2-year degree, even though the job required a 4-year degree. So there's so many people that, there's no passing the SAT. But anyway, I know what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. It's not the be all end all, but there is a direct correlation with success in college and SAT scores that can't be denied. Anyway, here's back to Freed Zakaria here. I'm going to give another minute or so, and then we're going to move on.
In America today, great inflation in the humanities is rampant.
Oh, and this too. So great inflation in the humanities is rampant. So all those gender studies degrees and women's studies and African American studies and anything that ends in the word studies. I've said this more than once. If you have a degree that ends in the word studies, start studying menus. Just saying. Know it from experience.
Yale, the median grade is now an A.
So the median grade is an A. What does that tell you? If the median grade is an A at Yale, what's the point? If everyone's getting A's and everything, then there's no, it's just unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Subjects crop up that are really political agendas, not academic.
Oh my gosh, listen to him. Preach.
In diversity,
Preach.
And inclusion.
What a waste of what
colleges.
if you get a major, if you get a degree in diversity, equity, and inclusion, what are you going to do for a living? Now, you would say, well, I'm going to go work for a company as a director of diversity, equity, and inclusion. But many companies are already starting to scale back those departments, realizing that they're not really accomplishing anything with them. And so now you've got a degree in diversity, equity, and inclusion, and there's no companies that are hiring people in diversity, equity, and inclusion. Yeah, great. Study menus. And there's nothing wrong with being a server in a restaurant. I did it for a long time, and I was a bartender for a long time, and I have no problem with it. I would go back and do it now when I retire if I need money, because I'm good at it. I'm good at helping people in whatever I'm doing. So I'm not saying that's a bad job. I'm just saying, are you going to get $300,000 in student loans to go wait tables? Because you could just start by waiting tables. That was my point.
The ever-growing bureaucracy devoted to diversity, equity, and inclusion naturally...
Now, this is a brown man saying this. I guess that's what you call him.
...recommends that more time and energy be spent on these issues. The most obvious lack of diversity at universities
is
political diversity.
Oh my God!
Who
is this guy?
Many issues is never addressed.
Who is this guy?
These goals are not centrally related.
Who is Hello Resolute Germ?
Or sustaining or building excellence. Out of this culture of diversity has grown the collection of ideas and practices that we have now all heard of. Safe spaces, trigger warnings, microaggressions. As the authors Jonathan Haidt and Greg Lukianoff have discussed, many of these colleges have instituted
Who
speech
is
codes
this guy?
that make it a violation of university rules to say things that some groups might find offensive.
Except for the Jews. Oh, wait.
Universities advise students not to speak, act, even dress in ways that might cause offense to some minority groups.
Oh my gosh. And the two most powerful words if you're in college right now is I'm offended. All you have to do is say I'm offended and you can get some action.
With this culture of virtue signaling growing, the George Floyd protests erupted and many universities latched on and issued statements
Hello, James Donor.
effectively aligning their institutions with these protests. By my memory, few took such steps even after 9/11 or during the Iraq War.
Now, it's interesting because you said I'd be almost willing to watch CNN if this guy was the only person on it, except this is not what you usually get out of Fareed Zakaria. So I'm stunned at listening to him. But yeah, he's right. This is Fareed Zakaria. He has a show. He has a weekly show on CNN. And he's, fairly reliably liberal too. It's weird.
In this context, it is understandable that Jewish groups would wonder, why do safe spaces, microaggressions, and hate speech not apply to us? If universities can take positions against free speech to make some groups feel safe, why not us?
Ding.
Having coddled so many student groups for so long,
Hello,
university
Cracked.
Administrators found themselves squirming,
How many of their
unable to
viewers?
explain why.
Okay, that's a good question, Greg. I'm curious how many viewers have their heads have exploded. I wonder if it's a large percentage now. I doubt it. Now, if he were saying this on MSNBC, probably the entire, audience. But I think CNN probably has enough people watching that know this deep down inside. They know what they see, but they just don't know what they see, and they don't know how to express it. And then all of a sudden, a sane person comes on and says it out loud, and you go, oh, damn. Damn. Wow. I had, yeah. Yes. And then they go, because they saw all the hubbub about the university presidents over the weekend. They're like, you can't even condemn someone calling for the genocide of Jewish people. I mean, even if that's, the words that she asked wasn't whether they said infantile or this or that. They just said, if you do this, would that be against your rules? And the thing she said should automatically be against the rules, even if they don't think it's something that's being said on their campus. But no, they didn't do that. Hello, Special Can Acid and Septus Wolf.
Certain groups, Jews, Asians, don't seem to count in these conversations.
Right?
Having gone so far down the
Now, part of it, okay, I'm part of it, I understand a little bit because Fareed Zakaria is from Southeast Asian heritage. So the things about quotas at Harvard for, taking points away from Asian kids and giving them to other people would probably have affected him or his family. So I can understand where he might have us go, oh yeah, this is not right. Okay, so I get it.
Ideological path, these universities and these presidents could not make the case clearly that at the center of a university is the free expression of ideas, and that while harassment and intimidation would not be tolerated, offensive speech would and should be protected. As CNN's Van Jones has eloquently said, the point of college is to keep you physically safe, but intellectually unsafe. To
Ding.
force you to
Okay,
confront
and that's,
ideas
every
that
once in a while,
vehemently disagree with.
Van Jones,
What we
broken
saw
clock.
in the House hearing this week was the inevitable result of decades of the politicization of universities.
I wasn't going to watch the whole thing, but we
America's
are.
top colleges are no longer seen as bastions of excellence, but partisan outfits.
Ding.
Which means they will keep getting buffeted by these political storms as they emerge. They should abandon this long misadventure into politics, retrain their gaze on their core strengths, and rebuild their reputations.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. They're
learning.
so entrenched right now. Some of these major universities, especially the ones that are supposed to be the greatest universities in the world, right? They're so entrenched in ideology that there's no way that that's going to happen. Oh my gosh! Headline: Seattle student failed quiz for saying men can't get pregnant. Fantastic, fantastic. Hello, Shrapnel. What's up? Van Jones a broken clock when he's literally shaking. Yes, that too. So, wow, that I wasn't gonna do the whole thing, but Fareed Zakaria got me going there. I'm like, who is this guy? I have no idea who this guy is. All right, real quick, I got some more thank yous. I have thank yous to do. I haven't even said thank you yet. Thank you to, let's start down all the way at the bottom here. Oh, Lord, somebody's over here. Let's see. Thank you, Jimmy Das Hotep, Gunfox61, Mike Savage, Blark Zara, Simon Wolfwood, Reaction Puerto Rico, a.k.a. Grampy Hotep, Tyler F., all of you, and Jimmy Das Hotep, I said already, for sharing the show. I appreciate it for doing that. And somebody over here sent me something. I put something about Alex Jones. Someone named PSP2 Steve Liberty. What is this? I have no idea what this is. Oh. Okay, this is just a funny little meme here. I'll show it to you on the screen. Someone sent me this when they saw that I was talking about Alex Jones today. And so they said that Alex Jones is Bill Hicks. Bill Hicks and Alex Jones are the same person, he thinks. Okay, they do look very much alike. They are kind of a doppelganger, aren't they? And here's the other one right here. I can't see it because it's, let me change this. Alex Jones, Bill Hicks, let's go there. There we go. So that's uncanny. Bill Hicks, the great comedian. Is he dead? Is Bill Hicks dead? I'm not even sure. All right, real quick here. All right, back to the main street. Oh, thank you, Gunfox61, dropping a 10 spot in the tip jar. Wait a minute, weren't you already? You were already the Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Well, you're super extra double Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day.
You are the new Streamlabs Superstar
dropping a Hamilton in the tip jar who says, oh, it's Metal Monday. Let's put some metal on. How about we put some metal on when we read this one? If I can find it. Here's one right here. Here's some metal. Thank you, Gunfox61, dropping a Hamilton in the tip jar. It says, okay, first, I really hope colleges start to go under and schools need to start pushing trade schools and skills. Second, here's a link. Seattle student failed quiz for saying men can't get pregnant. I was hoping I wouldn't have to read it. It's gonna be in the links. This is gonna take me some time, and I'll come back to Alex Jones. Okay, here it goes. Let's see, find which one puts it about center there. Well, that's not working. Let's try it. Where's the article? Oh, there it is. Nope, doesn't fit there. Let's try left. Close enough. Okay. Seattle school student failed quiz for saying men can't get pregnant. Failed the quiz. Failed the quiz. Oh, I see. Here you go. Oh my God. An activist history teacher failed a Seattle student on a quiz for saying only women can get pregnant and that only men have penises. A 10th grade ethnic study. Wait a minute. Listen to this. Okay, this is a high school? Wait, is this a high school? Yeah, 10th grade. An ethnic studies world history teacher. An ethnic studies world history teacher at Chief Sealth International High School in Seattle gave students a quiz titled Understanding Gender versus Sex. The quiz provided a series of statements to label true or false or questions with multiple choices. Many of the questions focused on personal pronoun use. When someone uses they, them pronouns, what does that mean about their gender identity? It means they're very confused and don't understand my particular dialect of the English language. Oh, that's not the right answer? I'm sorry. Or assumptions one may make around gender identity. True, false, transgender people are gay. In a lot of cases, yes. But who knows? 2 questions, however, are objectively false, but students are taught the opposite. Question number 4 was a true-false question about the statement, all men have penises. The student labeled the statement as true since it is in fact true, but the teacher penalized the answer, marking it incorrect. The teacher claims women can have a penis. Now, the only way that statement can be false, though, right? That statement can be false. Why? Because a man who had his penis removed is still a man. That would be my answer. But yes, I understand what the kid was going with, and he was probably more objectively right. There are men who've lost their penises. Yes, think of John Wayne Bobbitt, at least for a period of time. Anyway, similarly, question 7 was a true or false question with the statement, only women can get pregnant. Now, that is objectively true, but that's in my dialect of the English language. So, again, the student marked the statement true because only women can get pregnant. And again, the teacher penalized the student, insisting the answer is false. The teacher believes men can get pregnant. The student's mother wrote the Jason Ranch show on KTTH expressing frustration and anger. She says she expressed concerns to the school, but was met with silence. I keep trying to wrap my head around how it's legal to teach inaccurate information and force students to answer against their beliefs or receive negative scores, she said to the Jason Rance show on KTTH. She asked for anonymity for fear her son would face retribution. The mom told the Jason Rance show that she worries about school routinely allowing teachers to bring political beliefs into the classroom. Gender identity issue is just one example. She said her child, who is white,
You're fucking a white male!
routinely faces scrutiny for his skin color and so-called privilege. She said various teachers have called her son... I don't know what this F for things and racist have called her son and a product of the patriarchy that teaches young boys not to care about anything, and that he shouldn't use the term straight to identify because it's offensive. Well, what the difference? You're the guys who made up straight and gay. Wait, what is this word though? Okay, they blocked it. Maybe they meant fucked and racist. She said various teachers have called her son maybe fucked and racist. I don't know what the word they're anyway. Now, Seattle Public Schools, through a spokesperson, defended the quiz as, quote, inclusive, arguing it was appropriate for an ethnic studies course. How? What does that have to do with ethnicity? And how is it inclusive if you're not being inclusive of people who have a different view on the world? It's very uninclusive if you ask me. Oh, is inclusive only mean when you agree with them? Fuck them. Okay, I said that out loud. I didn't mean to. Okay, inclusive. Fuck. Then they continued. The Seattle Public Schools is dedicated to establishing inclusive environments that allow exploration of contemporary issues, specifically examining the impacts of power systems such as racism and patriarchy. The spokesman said to the Jason Ranch show, this commitment extends to fostering welcoming and inclusive settings where students, staff, and families have freedom to express their authentic selves, except for young white boys. I added that last part. It didn't say that on here. Anyway, holy shit. Except for people who don't believe in this nonsense. It's inclusive except for people with traditional values. Oh, no traditional values. Yes, that's just a big ball of confusion there. Anyway, the spokesperson said the quiz was in line with state and local guidelines covering such topics, but it's not clear how this unscientific lesson around gender identity was connected to world history. Yeah, what does it have to do with world history and ethnic studies? Was it an ethnic penis on that woman that the teacher was talking about? Now, even though her son failed the quiz, the mom said she's proud of him because he refused to answer against his beliefs, which are medically and scientifically accurate, or at least used to be. The district notes that the failing grade won't be used against the student's overall grade. Oh, I'm sure it won't. I'm sure that teacher won't have any sort of animosity toward the student. It will just treat that student just like all the other very diverse and ethnic kids. Jesus Christ. But that's okay. It says the district won't allow the failing grade to be used against the student's overall grade. But that's besides the point. The student was failed for refusing to answer politically motivated questions intended to legitimize an extremist gender identity movement, claiming gender is fluid. The students aren't being taught, they're being indoctrinated, and it's by design. District leaders think this lesson is not only appropriate but factually accurate. To separate gender and sex, radical left educators are better able to claim one can change their gender. To them, it's not set like sex. The reality is, however, you cannot separate the two. Being female or being male is intrinsic to one's sex. How one identifies changes nothing about the individual's gender or sex. Those are crazy words. Hello, Cannibalistic Wizard. And Reese Donald. More troublesome than the failing quiz and politically driven misinformation, it seems reasonable to believe the teacher may penalize the students in other ways. Well, it depends on how you spell penalize or penalize, because, teachers and all. Anyway, it doesn't strain credulity to believe that if you put these questions on a quiz, you may look down upon students who reject your worldview. A petty teacher, I've never met a petty teacher before, could easily target the student with other material as punishment for an unwillingness to subscribe to the teacher's radical views. It's why the mom is on higher alert about how her son may be treated moving forward. The mom isn't likely that different from much of the views of left-wing educators either. She said she identifies as a moderate liberal, but is concerned with the direction of the classroom. It shows a disconnect between progressive activists pushing gender extremism and the views on their own party. Polls routinely show the American people, regardless of political views, reject gender identity radicals, yet those views are rarely shared by media covering these controversies. Indeed, the mom reached out to the Jason Rand show because she said that she knows that no liberal news outlet would run a story like this, which is true. So anyway, that's nuts. But you know what? You got to watch what your kids are bringing home from school. And just sometimes they got to keep their heads down and answer the way the teacher wants. And then you just live your life and laugh at them behind their backs, which is what most students do. That's the funny thing. My experience with kids, when I ask them about this kind of stuff, like, what do they teach you in school? And she's like, they just roll their eyes about it. They just like, yeah, they teach this bullshit. So anyway, all right, before I get to Alex Jones, which I'm doing pretty good for time here today, except for I have 40 articles I'm not going to get to, but a couple individual, I got the same one. Oh, I see. That's that one. I have a couple individual clips, which I did the Fareed Zakaria already. Where's the other one? Oh, this was something dumb that I saw, which, I always find dumb shit on here. So somewhere here, this was on, and I haven't spent a whole lot of time talking about Israel lately either, but someone named CJ Whirlman had a question on X, the app formerly known as Twitter, and I was thinking to myself, this question seems kind of dumb, but I'm going to show it to you and answer it anyway. So he says, why hasn't there been more discussion in the media about October 7th footage that reportedly shows Hamas fighters saying, "Don't shoot civilians, save your bullets for soldiers"? Now, I saw the question. I thought, am I reading this question right? Is that something that actually happened? And two, when and who, is it something that's just being totally overlooked by the media? Well, I think I have the answer to it, but several people also had the answer. Well, number one, because they shot, raped, and abducted civilians, and they killed a bunch of civilians. That's mainly who they killed, 10-1 civilians to soldiers. So maybe that's why the media is not so interested in seeing one particular Hamas person saying don't shoot civilians. That's seems to be the easy answer. And I'm not going to scroll down because there's some very violent shit going on in it. But you can scroll down and people decided to give him examples of why maybe the media doesn't really care to hear about one person saying, don't waste your bullets on civilians. Because they killed a lot of civilians. I thought it was a dumb question. I don't know why, but it just seems to me like it was a very overwrought, stupid question. And I thought I'd highlight it today. Don't bother CJ, whatever his name is. I'm not going to say his name again because whatever. And then also, Al Gore. Now, I'm sure your eyes immediately rolled deep into the back of your head as soon as I said Al Gore. But there's this one little thing where Al Gore, the inventor of the internet, okay, I know he didn't say he invented it, but he said he was instrumental. He accidentally said it once, but he said, I'm responsible for the creation of the internet because he voted on some bill one time, and that's, that was his claim to fame. He seems to suddenly have a problem with the internet. And so this little clip, and again, it's semantics for some, but still, he seems to have a problem with the internet and social media. Here's Al Gore telling us that maybe we should get rid of certain aspects of social media.
If you have social media that is dominated by algorithms that pull people down these rabbit holes that are a bit like pitcher plants.
Oh, you mean like they go and research the bullshit that comes out of your mouth? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. Sorry. Sorry. I'm gonna let you finish.
These algorithms, they are the digital equivalent of AR-15s. They ought to be banned. They really ought to be banned. It's an abuse of the public forum.
What? The algorithm should be banned? They're like AR-15s? What are you talking about? You mean people want to find stuff that they're interested in and the algorithm kind of helps them find stuff they're interested in, and then you think it should be banned? That we should only hear things that you say because the bullshit that comes out of your mouth. By the way, how many predictions from An Inconvenient Truth have come true, Al? I'm just curious. Anyway.
But when people are pulled
algorithms.
Down
Algorithms. That's funny. That's very funny. The algorithms.
holes, you know what's at the bottom of
In fact, the reason they're called algorithms, that's true. It's because of Al Gore. Because he invented the internet. The algorithms. They named him after him.
But when people are pulled down these
please, YouTube, do not fact check me on that. I don't need to fact check on that. Okay.
Rabbit holes. You know what's at the bottom of the
What's at the bottom of the rabbit hole? The truth? The place where your bullshit comes up empty?
That's where the echo chamber is.
Oh, yeah. See, you're not in an echo chamber at your little Bloomberg whatever thing you're talking at. That's an echo chamber too, because everyone there is probably there because they agree with you, because no one who does agree with you wants to hear any of the bullshit that comes out of your mouth. Sorry, I did it again.
And if you spend too much time in the echo chamber, what's weaponized is another form of AI.
Al, you live in an echo chamber.
Insanity.
You live in an echo chamber.
I'm serious.
Oh my God.
QAnon is just the best known version of artificial insanity.
And climate alarmism is the same. So is climate alarmism, Al. By the way, I have a new shirt in the store. You can buy it. There's a link, I guess, on my YouTube channel now for all the stuff that's in my Teespring store, which there's only 2 different shirts right now, but I'm going to be adding more. But the global warming ever since the Ice Age shirt is on the Teespring store. The first version of it. I'm going to have multiple versions of it, but this is my first version that I've tried. And we'll see how it goes. If you want to support the channel, you don't have to just, do super chat stuff. You can actually buy some cool shit at my Teespring store, which is linked to my YouTube channel. All right, here we go.
Devices are the enemies of
Wait, what's that? Wait, hang on.
And they're the enemy of insanity. And these devices are the enemies of self-government, and they're the enemies of democracy.
Anything that could
need
possibly
reforms for both democracy and capitalism. Both sets of reforms are possible.
Yes, only because if it's not something that we say and we allow and we agree with and we want you to do and we want to control in your life and the taxes we want you to make you pay, and everything that for this crisis we will control people, and if it tells you that maybe it's unnecessary bullshit, that is wrong, and you're not allowed to hear that information. That's exactly what Al Gore is saying. Fuck you and good night. Okay, thank you, Al Gore. Bye, bitch. Anyway, so now let's get into, since I'm running into time now, Alex Jones, see, that's blocked. James Woods, okay, I don't need that. Alex Jones, let's get into the Alex Jones thread on X, the app formerly known as Twitter first. What happened is last week, Elon Musk did a poll on Twitter, and I don't know what prompted him to do the poll, but he did a poll on Twitter asking his millions and millions of followers and the world of Twitter, because he can just automatically send his shit to everybody, whether or not Alex Jones, the controversial pundit and prognosticator, should be reinstated on Twitter. Now, a lot of people hate Alex Jones, but mainly because he, did that Sandy Hook denial shit and all that. But, and a lot of people call him a conspiracy theorist. And what's funny is many of his conspiracies that he's talked about for years seem to be coming to fruition. But anyway, about 3-1 of people who voted on whether or not Alex Jones should be reinstated said Alex Jones should be reinstated. So his account is now reinstated on X. And as an example, I'll show you right here on X. There it is, Alex Jones, real Alex Jones with a blue check mark and everything in InfoWars, okay? And I don't follow Alex Jones. You know what? I'm tempted to, but you know what? I don't think I have to. It's kind of like Elon Musk. It's kind of like Donald Trump, or at least it used to be. It's kind of like Joe Biden. You don't have to follow him to find their stuff, because it'll be all over the internet, okay? So what happened was he did this thing, those Twitter spaces. They invited him onto a Twitter space, and he talked with people, and there was a whole bunch of people in that Twitter space, and so a whole bunch of people were talking about it. So anyway, let's just go through a few of these Alex Jones tweets or posts, or whatever the hell they call them now. They don't call them tweets anymore. They call them posts. Posts, like the cereal, post cereal. And so here's a few reactions. Cat Turd, how X works. Yesterday, they had a space on X, which is one of those like chat room things where some people are talking and everyone can listen. There was over 100,000 people listening to it. Yesterday, they had a space on X as opposed to SpaceX with Alex Jones, Elon Musk, the Tate brothers, and a bunch of large influencers. They talked for hours and said some amazing things. However, Vivek Ramaswamy forgot to mute his mic while taking a piss, and that's all everyone's talking about today. Yes, Vivek took his space phone into the bathroom and urinated, and everyone could hear him peeing, and I guess that's the funny thing. So as a speaker in that space, Vivek established dominance. I didn't hear all that, but anyway, yeah, so that's one thing people are talking about. Let's see. Styx Hexenhammer 666. Everyone knows Styx. Legacy media outlets currently dogpiling Alex Jones as a conspiracy theorist have not yet explained why they have pushed more falsehoods than Jones could ever concoct if he had lived 5 lifetimes to do so. That is true. Juanita Broderick, the enemy of Bill Clinton. The most phenomenal thing happened yesterday. Elon Musk, Alex Jones, and Vivek Ramaswamy had a live discussion with the world as an audience. Oh, and Vivek took the audience on a tour of his bathroom. Only on X. Astounding. Yes! And then I'll just do one more. there's plenty. You can go down this list. I'm waiting for. I should find at least one critical one. There's plenty of people critical too. But even Ed and Brian Krasenstein brothers were, like I said, we read the one tweet. They were already kind of supportive of him being back on X. Rather hearing him, like he said, if you hear the speech of people that you don't agree with, you have an opportunity to counter that speech. If you just let people go off into the ether and have their own echo chamber, as Al Gore mentioned, then you don't know what's happening. I want every racist to be on Twitter so I know who they are and I know what stupid shit they're saying, and so I can counter it. That's what I want, okay? Simon Ateba, the White House correspondent from Africa, I can't remember which country he's from, Alex Jones had been banned on Twitter for 5 years, but it took only one interview with Tucker Carlson to be reinstated. Tucker loves the U.S., doesn't have a divided loyalty, doesn't wear flags from other nations, and stands for free speech. In one word, kindly describe this patriot. Okay, I'm sure that there's some choice words for him there. Let's see if we can find someone who's critical of it. Here we go. Daily reminder that Alex Jones is an Islamophobic Zionist. What did he say? Let's see what he said. I'm not going to do that. Because I don't know if I'm allowed to put him on YouTube or not. That's the other problem. Shannon Watts. Because here was Elon Musk, who said, I vehemently disagree with what he said about Sandy Hook, but are we a platform that believes in freedom of speech, or are we not? That is what it comes down to in the end. If the people voted him back on, this will be bad for X financially, but principles matter more than money. Oh my God, Elon Musk, what are you doing? If I was a chick, never mind, I'm not gonna say that. But anyway, Shannon Watts, who obviously hates Alex Jones and really her organization, Moms Demand Anti-Gun, came out after Sandy Hook happened. Defamation is not free speech, which is why judges in different states have come to the same conclusion. Alex Jones violated his victims' First Amendment rights, and he owes them $1.5 billion. Now, she makes a mistake here. Not a single judge said that Alex Jones violated his victims' First Amendment rights. That's completely and utterly false, okay? No. What they said was that his First Amendment right did not allow him to defame them, whatever. That case, I'm surprised that that's not on endless appeal, because whatever he said. I mean, you can it's first of all, the penalty is ridiculous, $1.5 billion. But anyway, someone here though says Alex Jones is having a rough day, folks. I don't know what he meant there. Alex Jones got banned from Twitter 1.0 for calling out the lying media to their face. We need more of this, because that's not really why Sandy Hook's only a part of it. They don't care, but the media hates him too because he calls them out constantly. So anyway, there's an entire thousands and thousands of posts on this, but let's go into the actual story here, and how different media covers it. Okay. So this is PJ Media, fairly basically right of center, obviously, outlet that I reference a lot because they write well for the most part. Here it is. He's back. Trends on X as most censored man. Alex Jones is allowed to speak on the platform again. As John Delaros explains, nearby, Twitter X owner Elon Musk took a poll of the social media platform users asking this question: reinstate Alex Jones on this platform, Vox Populi, Vox Dei. Okay, and it was 70% to 30%, with 1.9 million votes and some change. The people have spoken, so he let him back on. More than 2 million users on the platform voted, and 70% of them wanted Jones back on the platform. And he says, it shall be. On Sunday, Alex Jones' Twitter account was reinstated. He retweeted 2 X messages, one announcing he'd be doing an interview on X Spaces. His last tweet before that was September 6, 2018. It's been 5 years since he's been on Twitter. The sandpaper voice Jones, one of the most reviled and beloved figures in media. In a recent interview with Jones, Tucker Carlson called him the most censored man in media. He rivals Donald Trump in that category, and that's for sure. This person says, I've had my run-in with Jones' minions in the field, knowing as I do that he proclaimed 9/11 was an inside job and later gobsmackingly claimed that the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting was fake. Where he got that notion is anybody's guess, but he later apologized and said he was wrong. He still does to this day. Parents who lost their children and felt harmed by Jones' free speech protected rant sued him for $1 billion. Jones lost one of those cases when a judge by fiat changed the law against punitive damages. And that's the other thing. And the judge themselves changed the law. That's why it should be on appeal. Jones nearly lost everything and will be paying for life. Fortunately for him, he's set up a media backstop, hosting his InfoWars programming from his hometown of Austin, Texas, on his established website and other social media platforms such as Rumble, where he hosts The Daily Show. Jones says when he confronted CNN media reporter Oliver Darcy, who rooted for deplatforming people whose messages they don't like, that was the moment when all social media censored him. And you'll have to, you can play that. I'm just going to stay away from it because, Oliver Darcy's a dickhead. Alex Jones' deplatforming on all major media was proof of a concept for those bad actors at the FBI, CIA, and DHS, Stanford University, and the University of Washington who expanded social media censorship during the COVID outbreak. Jones was the canary in the coal mine. Now, censorship of individuals and media, especially conservative media like PJ Media, is de rigueur, which it's par for the course. You can ask anyone who writes for our site. It's hard to pigeonhole Jones. He's conservative sometimes, libertarian or classically liberal at others. His presentations at the InfoWars platform display his bombast and deep suspicion of the official narrative. Now, you know that. He doesn't believe anything the government tells you, which is fine. I can't fault him for that. And there's more in this article, but you get the idea. They kind of go factually on him. Now, the next one, though, is this is an article, an opinion piece in an Arizona paper, Arizona Central. And this is kind of the other end, like the total critical. Arizona MAGAs must be thrilled that Alex Jones is back. Now, I don't know that, would you say that Alex Jones is necessarily a hero of MAGA people necessarily, or is it just more a lot of Alex Jones people are also MAGA people? Is one go into the other? Because I guess I don't consider myself either necessarily, although I support both of them. But I've never been this big fan of Alex Jones. I've always thought he was kind of out there, but now that I go back and listen to some of his predictions from years ago that are all like coming to fruition, I go, oh shit, this guy maybe is onto something. Anyway, opinion. He said the massacre of 21st graders was faked. He was defended by State Senator Wendy Rogers. So this is a hit piece on Wendy Rogers in Arizona. He was defended by State Senator Wendy Rogers and welcome to Arizona to spread lies of a stolen election. So this person says, I guess that Arizona State Senator Wendy Rogers cheered when Elon Musk restored the X account of what may be the most vile human being in America, Alex Jones. Yeah, I'm not so sure about that. On second thought, I take that back. Now listen, this is basically a hit piece. Okay, just get ready. On second thought, I take that back. I should not have said Alex Jones may be the most vile human being in America. I should have said that Alex Jones is the most vile human being in America. He gets under people's skin. Hello, Lord Stanhope. This is a man, after all, who said on his radio and online shows that the murder of 21st graders and 6 teachers had been staged by the federal government, that it was fake. And he was wrong for that. Absolutely. I don't disagree that he was wrong for that. I'm sorry. There are plenty more vile people in America than Alex Jones. He used his media platform to lie about the slaughter of 6-year-olds and essentially unleashed his massive audience of gullible bird brains upon the grieving families, all to make a buck. Did he? Did he tell them? Did he order his minions to go attack these families? I doubt it. Sandy Hook's is synthetic, completely fake with actors, in my view, manufactured, Jones said. This is a man who also claimed that the 9/11 attacks were staged by the U.S. government, a man who said the government is using chemicals to create gay people. The parents of dead children at Sandy Hook sued him and won. Last month, the judge, okay, this is back, oh, this is old. Oh, this is from, oh, never mind. Oh, no, it was last month. Last month, a judge said that Jones cannot weasel out of the more than $1 billion in compensatory and punitive damages he owes victims' families for repeatedly defaming them by claiming that the 2012 killings were a hoax staged with actors as part of a government plot to seize guns. You know, he did apologize before this case even happened, before they even sued him. But anyway, no one with an ounce of decency would disagree with the judge's decision or with the jury verdict that got him there. I do. I disagree with it 100%. Well, maybe, I don't know, 100%. I definitely agree with most of it. That the fact that the judge can change the rules and have $1 billion in punitive damages just by his own decree. Yeah, no, you can't do that. And that's absolutely appealable. Anyway, this more or less only leaves Arizona's Wendy Rogers. Oh, no one, this more or less leaves only Arizona's Wendy Rogers. When Jones first lost his case, she wrote online, "It's wrong what they did to Alex Jones. He should be able to criticize the official story anytime he wants. I hope he appeals the verdict because the kangaroo courts already made him guilty before the trial started," which is true. Americans should help cover his bills, sick of censorship. Look, he said something vile to many people, right? Not a law against that. And it's oh, Steve Des, how you doing? Or Steve, yes. The argument I would use on these people is, and you don't want him to get trash for what he says the second time? Isn't that what fills you with life? Yeah, that's true. Anyway, so he says, Wendy Rogers is doing exactly what she promised. That shouldn't surprise anyone in Arizona. Jones was welcome here when the MAGA conspiracy nuts, I guess this person doesn't like people who like Trump, were trying to overturn the results of the 2020 election. He spewed, okay, and then he went, obviously this keeps going about, he spewed 2020 election conspiracies. Maybe Jones isn't, oh, and then he says, maybe Jones isn't the most vile human. Wait, I'm rethinking things again. Maybe putting Alex Jones in the most vile human category was a mistake. After all, that moniker more correctly belongs to the people who enable him, defend him, associate him, or fail to condemn him. Now, I think they made a legal mistake. Is that defending Alex Jones? Well, if defending Alex Jones, then I guess that makes me one of the most vile human beings, because I think the legal decision is a dangerous precedent. Because there's some people who say some shitty things that never get prosecuted. All right, let's move here. For the Washington Examiner, or Washington Times, which is a right of center editorially. Here we go. Alex Jones, ex-reinstatement, a win for free speech. Okay, now who wrote this? And why is it not fitting on the page? Let me make sure, let's get it to fit on the page here. That would help. Is that better? That's better. All right, let's do this. And this is someone named Cheryl Chumley. Gotta love someone whose name is Chumley. 70% of X users said InfoWars host Alex Jones should see his social media account restored, and boom, just like that, he's back. Elon Musk reactivated his platform. This is a major win for free speech. In America, it's not unlawful to be a conspiracy theorist, nor should it be, and handling a select few in politics or in the big tech offices filled with leftists who do the government's bidding bidding the right to determine what a conspiracy versus what's not. Well, just look back at the coronavirus years to see where that leads. All those with dissenting views are silenced. In a live stream with Musk after his reinstatement, Jones apologized once again for raising questions about the 2012 Sandy Hook school shooting, specifically when he doubted the event was real and pressed the idea it was staged. I apologize for every show. Jones said to Musk, The Hill reported. And I'll say it again. I apologize that I gave my commentary because I'm just really a guy, a talk radio host. So I do it on the internet. I just take calls and interview guests, and I play devil's advocate. And if I hurt people's feelings, I apologize. But I don't send people to your houses. I don't pee on graves. I don't know why any of this stuff went on. Speaking of people sending people to houses, remember this? Maxine Waters encourages supporters to harass Trump administration officials. CNN wrote in a headline in June of 2018. So that was the same year. Her exact words: let's make sure how we show up and wherever we have to show up. And if you see somebody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out there and you create a crowd and you push back on them and you tell them they're not welcome anymore anywhere. Mr. President, we see you every day, every hour, everywhere. Sorry, that's a terrible Maxine Waters impression. Later that same day, when asked about her vitriol on MSNBC, Waters said this: the people are going to turn on Trump officials. They're going to protest. They're going to absolutely harass them until they decide that they're going to tell the president, no, I can't hang with you. Her Twitter/X feed wasn't suspended. Now, from MSNBC News in May 2023, free speech or federal crime. Protesters are still marching outside conservative Supreme Court justices' homes. That was after Chuck Schumer in March of 2020 made these public remarks about the Supreme Court's Brett Kavanaugh and Neil Gorsuch. I want to tell you, Gorsuch, I want to tell you, Kavanaugh, you have released the whirlwind, and you will pay the price. You won't know what hit you if you go forward with these awful decisions. The bottom line is very simple. We will stand with the American people. We will stand with American women. We will tell President Trump and Senate Republicans who have stacked the court with right-wing ideologues that you are going to be gone in November, and you will never be able to do what you're trying to do now ever again. Wait a minute. How would they be gone in November? Oh, the Republicans. You will never be able to do what you're trying to do now ever again. You hear that over there, far right? You're gone in November. Schumer's Twitter turned X account was not suspended. Now, the thing is, the Constitution protects the God-given right of free speech, and that's offensive in nature. Tame, lame, non-offensive speech doesn't need legal protection. Jones made comments he apologized for. Jones was also ordered by a judge to pay between $1.1 and $1.5 billion in defamation damages due to his labeling of Sandy Hook as a false flag event, a fine that is as ridiculous as his booting from social media. He's bankrupted. He faces more defamation trials. The left still hates him. Many on the right hate him as well. But at least one wrong has been corrected. At least he's won his social media right to free speech. Truly, that's just not just a win for him. It's a win for all America and American liberty. Yeah, spot on there, babe. Whatever your name is. Hello, Andrew Thorsten. All right. So there's another one. Let's go to the next one. This is Fox News. About Alex Jones. I'm not going to read the whole thing anymore because I got a lot of catching up to do. On Fox News, what's the headline? Oh, where's the headline go? What the hell? Oh, there we go. Alex Jones tells Elon Musk he apologized to Sandy Hook families, suggests raising money for gun safety. Come on, Alex. Come on, man. Alex Jones apologized again for statements he made about the 2012 Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting in a conversation with Elon Musk after being reinstated on X on Sunday. The controversial InfoWars host, who was permanently banned from the platform once known as Twitter more than 5 years ago, was pressed about the issue during an X Spaces conversation hosted by Musk and entrepreneur Mario Nawfal. He's that dude. You know what? They need to take the N out of his name. Mario is actually awful, but yeah, there's a whole lot of backstory on him. Anyway, one of the questions I really just have to get out of the way, and you're probably talking about this already before the whole Sandy Hook thing, Musk asked Jones. So what exactly did you say, and what is wrong with that situation? Noting former President Trump's own legal battle in New York, Jones claimed he fell victim to a politically motivated judge and said he was simply trying to cover the news of the mass shooting in Newtown, Connecticut, that killed 20 children and 6 educators. And I had a very small operation. I did not even understand how powerful I was. And so when that, now wait a minute. Alex Jones was pretty popular back then too. His operation was small in the 90s, but his InfoWars grew to be pretty huge by then. So that's silly. And so when that event is called the school shooting, which I do believe happened 11 years ago, Jones responded, the internet exploded, and it was the top story for off and on for years. This is quoted verbatim, so I don't know the inflections here. With all the professors and former school safety people and all of them saying they believed it was a drill, and I simply covered them covering that. And so suddenly I would wake up and there would be sometimes 100 articles or more a day, every major news channel saying I was currently saying nobody died, currently sending people to their houses, currently peeing on graves, he said on his InfoWars show. Jones previously discussed the allegation that the massacre never happened and was staged in an effort to tighten gun laws. Relatives of many of the victims sued Jones in Connecticut and Texas, winning nearly $1.5 billion in judgments against him. In October, a judge ruled that Jones could not use bankruptcy protection to avoid paying more than $1.1 billion of that debt. Family members of the school shooting victims testified at the trials about being harassed and threatened by Jones' followers, who sent threats and even confronted grieving families in person, accusing them of being crisis actors whose children never existed. Jones is appealing the judgment, saying he didn't get fair trials and his speech was protected by the First Amendment. So they're kind of staying factual on this too. This is obviously it's not an opinion piece, and the other ones were. There's more, but I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna leave it for now. And then the last one, I have 2 more actually. This was the Business Insider. Talking about the live stream, and they're decidedly left-leaning from an editorial standpoint, but I think they do some fairly decent straight reporting too. Just on the fact that Vivek Ramaswamy forgot to mute himself while peeing during the live stream with Elon Musk, Alex Jones, and 100,000 others. So this was, and a lot of people are focusing on this rather than what was said during the stream. Vivek Ramaswamy used the bathroom while on an X Spaces live stream with controversial figures, including Alex Jones and Andrew Tate, but forgot to turn his mic off while relieving himself. Ramaswamy was one of the first candidates to announce to run for the GOP presidential nomination in 2024 behind President Donald Trump and Nikki Haley. He is a regular face on Fox News, where he's become known for his conservative, anti-woke stance. The X Space Ramaswamy was invited to on December 10th was hosted by entrepreneur Mario Knopfel. Why do they keep calling him entrepreneur? Is that the new talking point? Is that, did they ask him, what are you? And they just say entrepreneur? And he was also attended by Elon Musk, alt-right political activists. Wow! They actually use the phrase alt-right? God, what is this? 2017 or something? Holy shit. Alt-right political activist Jack Posobiec, InfoWars founders Jones, and commentators Jason Hinkle and CJ Pearson. Isn't CJ still in college? Around 2.3 million people tuned in. Oh my gosh, over the entire space. Holy shit. So what? He's a guy. He's allowed to make a mistake. I've peed when I've been on the phone before. It happens. And then finally, Daily Mail. Elon Musk asked Jones about the whole Sandy Hook thing. X Spaces as controversial host laments the constant apologies he's issued for saying the school shooting was a hoax. So I'm not going to go through this one, but you get it. Lots of different opinions on Alex Jones' appearances. All right, let me I was going to try to go through headlines today. I've got at least 40, so I'm obviously not going to get to them all. But I'll go down the line and see what here. Oh, did any of you see the Saturday Night Live cold open where they did Saturday Night Live did the cold open was Elena Stefaniak or whatever the hell her name is, grilling the Harvard professors. And it was pathetic. It was so bad and got the gist of what really went on so incredibly wrong. by skewering Stefanik and not the Harvard professors, who they made them sound well, they were so reasonable, but even though what they were saying was stupid, and they, it was, you have self-respect. So no, it's in the links. You got to watch it. It's so bad. They made it mocking of her, of the person asking the questions, instead of the answers, even though they kind of, in a subtle way, mocked them for the answers they gave. But it's so weird because the audience wasn't laughing. You could tell when the audience they put an applause sign or laughter sign, because they would, they would politely clap or barely laugh. It was just so bad. And look, occasionally, it's been a while, but occasionally Saturday Night Live does something funny. And the only good thing about the skit was when Keenan, what's his dude's name? Keenan, whatever his name is, the Keenan and Kel Keenan, popped up in the end as the president of University of Phoenix, and his one little small part of that was actually funny. The rest was just dumb. But it also it gives you an idea of how media treats things like this. And the good point here is this New York Times headline about that particular thing, which now the president of the University of Pennsylvania has resigned. The lady from Harvard has apologized profusely, and I don't know what's going on with the MIT lady, but here's how. This is typical how media treats things like this. And the New York Times, and it's basically the typical Republicans pounce kind of thing. New York Times, Republicans try to put Harvard, MIT, and Penn on the defensive about anti-Semitism. Now, what's hilarious about that is they are now on the defensive about anti-Semitism. And one university president has resigned because of this incident. So anyway, that's a good article reading about the skits in here, and it's so pathetic you have to watch it. I'm sorry, you just have to. In the Washington Free Beacon, again, University of Penn's Liz McGill resigns in disgrace. We already know that. Legal insurrection. The IDF chief says Hamas rule beginning to collapse amid mass surrender by Gaza terrorists. A whole bunch of the Gaza, I don't know if I call them terrorist fighters, freedom fighters, whatever the fuck you want to call them, because some people get upset when you call them terrorists. Well, terrorists. A whole bunch of them are surrendering to the IDF forces instead of being killed. They would wait to be martyrs another day. And so the rule is beginning to collapse. With terrorist fighters surrendering in large numbers for the second day in a row, the Israeli military believes that Hamas's rule is beginning to collapse in terror-infested Gaza, according to the IDF chief of staff. Here's the Halavivi. Hamas is losing grip on its power after ruling the Palestinian enclave with an iron fist for more than 16 years. That interpretation, I don't know. I guess here's my take, because my mother is more familiar with that area than I am, and she's been there. It's when they say the open air prison thing, the people live there, live fairly normal lives, but Hamas is always trying to start shit with Israel, because Hamas, like I said, their whole goal is to kill as many Jews as they can. And so the idea that they rule it with an iron fist, they rule it with the privilege of being the ones who have all the guns. This is an opinion by me. And they kind of hold people hostage to their agenda is what I see. Now, I may be wrong, but that's my opinion, not just anything, just from all the reading and stuff I do about it. So anyway, the fact that they're starting, the people that are fighting for them are starting to surrender does not look good for the leadership of Hamas. And I know they've gotten at least a few of their leadership in the sights, so to speak. PJ Media is really, there was also an attempted rescue of the Israeli hostages. And they're confirming that an IDF Special Forces operation to rescue several hostages ended in failure. The IDF says 2 soldiers were seriously wounded. Hamas claims that the rescue involved 1 military hostage who was killed in the action along with several Israeli soldiers. 2 sides give such contrasting stories of what happened that some observers say they may be describing 2 different rescue attempts. The IDF will only confirm that their rescue attempt failed and the 2 soldiers were wounded. So they got both sides of what each side said here. And you can read that one on your own. In Breitbart, Hamas is warning now that it could kill all the hostages unless Israel meets demands. Okay. Hamas spokesman suggested Sunday that the terror organization could kill all of the presumed 137 hostages in its custody if Israel does not accede to its demands. Look, good luck with that. If that happens, then there's no reason for them to stop coming after you. It's a game of propaganda, and right now with Hamas, and they've already broken a ceasefire. That's why Israel continued their mission to weed out their leadership. We'll just see what happens with that. Legal insurrection. Hamas murders an Israeli hostage, Sachar Baruch, displaying his mutilated body in a propaganda video. Now, this is, I always chuckle at the people who are complaining about, the Israelis actually executing a war against people who declared war on them and then said that they were going to continue to do what they were doing. And then they go out and do this displaying of a body that they murdered. Hamas tortured and murdered 25-year-old Israeli hostage Sachar Baruch, who was taken in Gaza following the October 7th terror attack. The Israeli media reported Sunday Baruch, an engineering student at Ben Gurion University, was kidnapped by a terrorist intruder from his family home in Kibbutz Be'eri, a small community in southern Israel. Earlier this week, Hamas claimed that Baruch had died during a failed attempt by the IDF to rescue hostages, but the propaganda video released by the terrorist group after Baruch's death show his disfigured face with eyes gouged out, showing signs of similar sadistic torture and mutilations carried out by Hamas during the October 7th massacre. So, yeah, right. You don't lose your eyes, both eyes in a rescue attempt. Real quick, thank you, Jimmy Das Hotep, dropping a small bullet in the tip jar. Who says, oh, wait a minute, any music. Jimmy Das Hotep with a small bullet in the tip jar says, I have a problem with holding others responsible for someone else's actions. Regardless of what Jones says, he is not responsible for others' actions, just like with Trump's and others. It is weaponization of the courts and hurts First Amendment protections. Let me give you just a spot on Jimmy Das Hotep, like always. Stop the music. Thank you, Jimmy, for sponsoring the show. Okay, how much time do I have? Okay, I'm good. I'll get a few more of these in, and then you're going to have to find the rest yourselves. In Daily Wire, Israel indicates it can no longer accept Hezbollah on its northern border either, because Hezbollah is also doing little skirmish attacks and whatever in the northern border. And so now it looks like Israel's going to be in a full-on 2-front war. They indicated that once Israel wipes out Hamas, an Iranian-backed Palestinian terrorist group inside Gaza, it may turn its attention to Hezbollah, which is also backed by Iran. His remarks come after tens of thousands of Israelis in dozens of towns in northern Israel were forced to evacuate their homes following Hamas's October 7th terror attack, which triggered attacks from Hezbollah. So apparently the FAFO theory is continuing also in the northern part of Israel. And then Secretary Blinken over the weekend said that the evidence he has seen of the sexual violence inflicted against Israelis on October 7th is unlike anything he's ever witnessed. So he made the remarks during the Sunday interview of CNN State of the Union with Jake Tapper when asked why the United Nations and the international community has been slow to condemn Hamas's sexual atrocities. And he said, I can't think of a real reason. Let me just put it this way. I've heard anti-Semitism hypothesized as a reason why the UN and international community might be slow to acknowledge this. But that's Tapper asking him that. Blinken said he has no idea why countries, leaders, and international organizations are slow to focus on this to bring it to people's attention. So they've seen, again, there's self-taken video from Hamas on some of the things they've done, and apparently a lot of people are still like, well, they didn't really do that. Israel did that themselves. They didn't do any sexual violence. They didn't burn any babies. They didn't do anything. They didn't cut off anyone's heads. They have it on video now. Some of it may have been exaggerated according to reports, but my question is, okay, so let's say that they didn't chop off the babies' heads after they killed them. Does that make it better? They murdered 1,400 people. Does that make it better if they didn't cut off their heads when they did it? Or if they didn't, but some of the things has been confirmed through video that, and also the other thing is, and from the people I've seen that have talked about this, because they've seen the videos that Hamas took during this attack. And the one thing that I hear more than a few times was the glee with which they did it. And that's the thing that is almost the most disturbing. The celebratory nature of, dragging around dead bodies in pickup trucks and the people cheering at the dead bodies of their enemies or the people they're going to attack, which is just so weird to me, like celebrating the death of these people. And there's also maybe a fake Islamic hate crime at Stanford. They haven't necessarily confirmed yet, but they seem to have enough evidence to say, yeah, this probably wasn't it. There's a story about that in PJ Media. A couple of good articles in the New York Post. Apparently, remember that you may have seen it, you may not have, but there was a coffee shop in California which blocked this Jewish woman from using the bathroom or going into the bathroom. Well, apparently, the coffee shop has now fired those employees for what they did there. So finally something right happened in California. Also in the New York Post, apparently there's a person of interest in the Detroit synagogue leader Samantha Wool's murder case is now in police custody. Remember this rabbi or at this synagogue in Detroit who was murdered. They finally have a suspect in custody. So that's good news too. In Daily Caller, Nashville police announced end of an investigation into the leak of the school shooters manifesto. We talked about that a while back. The Metropolitan Nashville Police Department announced Friday that they have exhausted all available investigative avenues to identify who leaked the Covenant school shooters manifesto, according to a press release. Now, that's funny. Does that mean that they're admitting that it is real? Because some people were saying it was fake. Metro MNPD Chief John Drake confirmed the investigation into finding the person responsible for leaking 3 pages of elementary school shooter Audrey Hale's manifesto has not identified any current police department employees or employees of any partner agency. The investigation has not identified current employees or employees. The same damn sentence twice. Anyway, they failed to find out who leaked the manifesto. Was it Steven Crowder or something like that? I mean, that's just weird that they gave it to Steven Crowder. Why is this not center name? Oh, I see. I got to go to center. In Washington Free Beacon, the Biden administration apparently is paying an anti-Israel group that spreads lies about the Gaza war to fight disinformation. So they're probably they're hiring some fact checkers that have a dubious history. Biden administration, in its effort to fight the spread of disinformation in the Middle East, awarded hundreds of thousands of dollars in taxpayer money to an anti-Israel nonprofit that has pushed fake news about the Israel-Hamas war. And when I read this article, it's like, one of the things they are still saying that the Israelis bombed that hospital where actually the people who were trying to send rockets into Israel, they blew up in the parking lot. They still say that the Israelis blew up that hospital. So that's just one of the many things that this group has done. And apparently the Biden administration is giving them money to fight disinformation. Perfect. Let's see. Oh, and if you've heard anyone in the media saying that a new Trump presidency will be the end of democracy? Well, you know where that came from. That came straight from the White House because Biden told them to. 3 weeks ago, the Biden campaign told the media to stir up fear that a second Trump term would be a dictatorship. And boy, are they delivering. So there's a whole article on this with examples. Here's one of them right here. Again, the Washington Post repeatedly called Trump and Republicans rats and vermin. Now they won't stop comparing Trump to Hitler for using the same dehumanizing language, because that's an actual Washington Post headline. The vermin in the White House during the Trump administration. Wow, that sounds a little dehumanizing, doesn't it? And you know what? Some of the media is getting caught up on something I talked about last week, about how the left is going to war against the sandwich shop monopoly. Yes, remember when Elizabeth Warren was complaining that the company that owns Subway is also looking at owning Jimmy John's, and so she was worried about sandwich shop monopolies because there are no other sandwich shops in this country. There's no other restaurants. There's nothing else. But there's only Subway and Jimmy John's, and if they combine, there'll be a monopoly on sandwich shops because there are no other places where you can get a sandwich anywhere. Yeah, it's stupid. All right, I'm basically out of time here, so let's just go to the headlines. New York Post. President Biden just pledged to shut down 60% of America's electric power. Ho! Good. How are you going to power up your electric car? You can read that one in the New York Post. Issues and insights. We got Doomsday Cult needs to recalculate its many failed predictions. So this is about all the climate change predictions that have been wrong, like the end of snow, that we'll have no coal left. There's fewer than 100 months or 12 years or 10 years or 4 years or 500 days to save the earth from the menace of man-made global warming. Well, I want to do an entire video on this particular item. So we'll do that later. Legal insurrection. Biden's border crisis. Military-aged men from across the globe are flooding across the border. Where have we heard that before? I think you heard that here. People from Senegal, Guinea, Mauritania, Egypt, and elsewhere are waiting to be processed. Oh, China, India, everywhere. They're coming from everywhere across our southern border. There is probably charter flights from some of these countries, dropping them all off in southern Mexico, and then they walk up to the Texas border and cross, and nobody blinks an eye. They process them and said, here's a free phone. Come check in for your court hearing. Yeah, it doesn't happen. Breitbart, 5,000 illegal migrants are to be released into the U.S. daily. That's according to a report Biden administration privately tells Congress. 5,000 daily, and more than 670,000 have evaded Border Patrol in the fiscal year 2023. That's on top of the 7 million since the Biden administration started. That's just a nonstop wave of joy and happiness coming through across the border. But on the other end of the scale, a trucking company has been fined $700,000 by the Biden administration for checking green cards of job seekers. So not only are they just letting them across the border, you can't obey the law by checking green cards and their legality to work in legality to work in the United States. The Covenant of Transport of Tennessee and an affiliate will pay the U.S. government $700,000 for discriminating against non-U.S. workers when checking their permission to work in the United States. It is a fucking clown show. In Daily Caller, illegal immigration surges months after Biden and Trudeau make a deal to crack down on the northern border. Yes, there's also people coming through the northern border now. Public subs are king. Are they? You know, I used to love Little Kings in Omaha, and I do like Potbelly. They have really good subs. They always get a wreck, if you've ever heard of Potbelly subs. And Jersey Mike's is pretty good, too. They have good stuff. They do kind of, they have they're Phillies there. If you get the, what's the one? There's one like the hot Philly with peppers and stuff. It's really awesome. Okay. And then in Texas, an illegal immigrant arrested on capital murder case of a Texas cheerleader. Yeah, that case has been going on for a while. They arrested that perpetrator, too. All right, there's more headlines to go, but I am not going to get to them. Appeals court strikes down major portion of New York State gun carry law, but allows sensitive places restrictions. I never heard of that. Anyway, that's it. I got to go, guys. Thanks for joining me on the Morning Night Live. There's going to be a ton more headlines if you go through the list today. Or you could just go to Ace of Spades blog and get a lot of them there. There's even double the number there. But I want to thank you all for joining me today. I'm here Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern. Roughly, today I was here at 10 o'clock Eastern. How about that? Hit the like button and share the stream even after the show. Thanks everyone who hung out with me today. Everyone hung out in the chat. Thanks to our sponsors, including Jimmy Das Hotep, Gunfox61, and Kara Soldier. Gunfox61 is the superstar sponsor of the day. And that's it. Bye, guys. Got to go. My name's Dawg Knight, and I am out of here. Bye. Hey, this is Dawg Knight, and thanks for watching today on the Dawg Knight Channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here.